Hi, I'm Marcus Carstens, Head of Product Development at Waveform. Now, whenever you're installing an external antenna on your building, on the roof for example, you're adding a lot of metal that can, in very rare instances, conduct lightning strikes. Between the metal in the actual antenna, you've got the metal pole and the metal jacket on the actual cable, there's a lot of elements that can conduct that lightning. It's rare, but it can happen. So we always recommend adding a lightning arrestor in line to the cable to ground the system and prevent any lightning surge from entering your home if it does get struck. Our antennas always use SMA connectors because they're incredibly high quality and make it easy to route the cables for installation, but they aren't inherently weatherproof. And that's why our cables and our antennas include little weatherproofing boots to protect those connectors. But installing a lightning arrestor has always been tricky for that same reason. So we've put together a little kit that includes some handy accessories to make installation easier, but also to make weatherproofing possible. So let's go ahead and take a look at our SMA Lightning Arrestor Kit. So here we have our SMA Lightning Arrestor Kit. We'll go right ahead and open it up and pull out the components and get the bag out of here. So taking a look right away at our lightning arrestor, there's nothing particularly crazy going on here. This is a very standard tried and true lightning arrestor SMA male connector on one end and a female connector on the other, with some dust caps to keep them safe and clean in shipping. This means it's completely modular, so you can slot this in anywhere between your antenna and your modem if you're using our QuadPro or QuadMini antenna line. On the actual arrestor itself, on the back here we have a gas breakdown tube. If it does get struck by lightning, all you need to do is remove the screw, take out the tube and replace that, and your whole system is good to go. Reach out to us if that happens and we'll happily send you a replacement gas tube. On the top here we have the little grounding nut, which is where your ground wire connects to bring this down to ground. And then we also have a bulkhead here, so if you are grounding to a ground bar, you can just connect this here. This is a standard size to connect to a ground bar. So that's a lightning arrestor. We also include a 5-foot length of 10 gauge stranded wire. It is stranded because it just makes it much more flexible and for grounding it doesn't need to be solid copper. This is intended purely to help you ground your arrestor to your pole. And then you'll need an additional length of ground wire from your pole to your actual ground rod or whatever it might be if you're grounding that way. And then also in the kit we have these two little strips of weatherproofing tape. This is sort of standard silicone weatherproofing tape, and we included this to help you weatherproof your lightning arrestor. So I'll go ahead and grab a cable here. This is our UltraFlex twin cable I'm using to demonstrate. And if I go ahead and connect the SMA male end of the lightning arrestor to the cable, just finger tighten that connector. If I want to install this outside now, this isn't inherently a weatherproof connection. And so we'll want to add some weatherproofing. Using this silicone tape is pretty straightforward. We go ahead and peel the backing off, give it a stretch, and that activates its self-fusing properties. The tape in itself isn't actually adhesive to anything. It only adheres to itself or fuses to itself when it makes contact. We'll start wrapping by just holding a corner of the tape, pulling it around and pulling it tight as we go. It's now bonded to itself there, and we'll just kind of keep wrapping around, making sure to keep it pulled tight and overlap by at least 5 millimeters on each wrap. We can be quite generous with that overlap. Wrap it around here, bring it back up so we can end it neatly. Up. And then we'll go ahead and just squeeze it in our fist for a second. Really, I mean like 5 seconds, but I'll spare you that. And there we have it, a completely weatherproof connection. On the other end, if you are connecting one of our antennas, obviously, you'll go ahead and connect that and slide the weatherproofing boot over the connectors. And there you go. What normally is quite difficult to get an SMA Lightning Arrestor completely weatherproofed for outside now becomes really easy. You attach your ground wire, ground this to your building, and there you go, a completely secure system. So there we have our SMA Lightning Arrestor, and this is the one I just installed. Like I mentioned, it's completely modular, so you can attach it between your antenna and your cable, or between your cable and your window entry, however you need it. It also has 2 modes of grounding, either via this nut through the cable to your pole, or via the bulkhead here into your ground bar. The silicone tape makes weatherproofing pretty easy, and of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We do love helping to solve tricky install problems. Thank you.